Hey guys, happy Monday. Welcome to another podcast. So, as you saw from the title, in this video, we're going to be discussing another program review out there called the Squat Everyday Method. Now, disclaimer real quick, I have never done the Squat Everyday program, nor do I know anyone that's done it. Max Ieta of Juggernaut Training has done the Squat Everyday program. He did it once for, I think in the podcast that I listened to, he said he did it for 13 years. That's insane. But anyway, today we're going to talk about it because I had a couple people email me. I think it was 2 weeks ago, asking me about this program and what my thoughts were on it. And the first thing that came to mind was, while squats are an amazing exercise, and I highly recommend them to everybody, find some way or another to figure out how to put them in their program, I don't think squatting every day is the most beneficial to everybody, or anybody really. I mean, does it have some merit to it? Will it make you stronger? Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Max Ieta says himself went all the way up to like a 600 something squat in the 13 years of doing that. But could have he got a 600 squat and doing 13 years of more balance training? Probably. So something that really comes to mind here is something Layne Norton always talks about. He always talks about progressing on the least amount of volume as it takes to progress on, because you're eventually going to need to add more volume. So let's say you're only squatting one time a week right now, and you're doing just a 5x5, a basic starting strength 5x5. So every week you're adding like 5 to 10 pounds, depending on how you feel. 3, 5, 10 pounds. So you continue to make progress. Each week you get stronger and stronger, and then all of a sudden you start to hit a plateau. You no longer get that. Well, what do I recommend to people do next? Add in another squat day. Start squatting 2 days a week. So now they have their strength day, their 5x5. I personally would add in, since you're not used to squatting 2 days a week, I would start out with a speed day. Now, I know I've talked about in a couple other videos, conjugate method video I did, or podcast I did a few episodes ago, talking how speed work is not that beneficial. Speed work is beneficial to a lifter that needs more technique work and also is getting into the world of squatting more often. It's a great way to introduce another squat day. After you do speed work for a while, 6 sets of 3, 8 sets of 3, maybe 9, 10 sets of 3. Then after you do that for a while and you're really progressive and you're able to, and you're gonna make progress again, you'll notice your weights will go up on that 5x5 again. When you stall out, then maybe I would take away that speed day and instead insert a hypertrophy day. So you have your 5x5 day. Now you have a 3x8 day, let's say. 3 sets of 8. Okay, so you go back to making progress. And the 3 sets of 8, I would use anywhere from, probably like 70 to, at the max, 75% of your 1 rep max. For speed work, 65 to 70% of your 1 rep max is a good guideline to go to. But anyway, the 3 sets of 8 then. So you have your 5x5, which you're probably rolling around, with 80 to 85% for a 5x5. Around 80%. 85 is really pushing it in like an overreaching block maybe. But for the majority of people, 80% 5x5 would be solid. And then your 3x8 for 70 to 75% for your hypertrophy day. So what happens then when you stop making progress? Well, you can still, since you're only doing 3 sets on that one day, you can add another set, or maybe you could up the weight and drop the rep or something. So maybe you would go from 3 sets of 8 to 4 sets of 8, or maybe you would go from 3 sets of 8 to 4 sets of 7. So you could increase the weight more but add one more set. Or maybe you're done with 8s and 7s and you want to do 10s for a while. You could do 3 sets of 10, or 2 sets of 10. Whatever the progressive volume. Over time you're going to need to add more volume. And just a refresher, volume is reps times sets times weight lifted. That'll give you your overall volume. And the main thing over time is you want your volume to be going up. That it translates to strength, translates to hypertrophy. That all is what you want to shoot for in your programming. So as long as your volume's going up, you will make gains in strength and hypertrophy. So Okay, so now let's refresh. We have our 5x5 day, say Monday maybe, and our other squat day Friday, where we're doing now a 4 sets of 8. All right, so we've hit another plateau. Now what? Well, you could add in a third day of squats, or you could add more to your 5x5 in the beginning of the week. But 5x5 with 80 something percent of your 1 rep max is quite a bit of volume in one day. So let's add another day, the third day of squatting. Now you can add in a day of either you can start with another speed work day, so you could have one strength day, one hypertrophy day, and one speed day. I've done that before, and that's fun as heck, and it works real well. Or you can do a strength day, a hypertrophy day, and another hypertrophy day, just a different rep range around the same volume. So now we could have our training each week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So squats Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We could do, and this is when you can switch it up. Some people like doing their heavier work at the beginning of the week, and some at the end of the week. For me, doing PH3 really introduced me to I really enjoy doing all my heavy work at the end of the week. Before PH3, I was always doing my strength work at the beginning of the week and hypertrophy at the end of the week. Well, what I found over time was the strength work would be great at the beginning of the week, but then I was too tired for the hypertrophy stuff at the end of the week because I was beat down. So, but going into now doing PH3 now, I'm used to doing my light work at the beginning of the week and then going heavier as the week goes on. And I found my body really likes that, actually. At first when I looked at that, I was like, I'm going to be dead by the end of the week, and I'm not going to be able to lift nothing for strength days. But it really surprised me, though. So you could flop it around. So now you could put your 5x5 on Friday, and maybe on Wednesday, 3 sets of 7, and then some 9s on Monday. So we are working in a daily undulating periodization rep scheme now. Mondays 9s, Wednesdays 7s, and Fridays 5s. So you have 3 different days of 3 different progressions, of 3 different weights, of 3 different intensities, and 3 different sets of volume for a week now in your training. And that's basic programming right there. And then through the weeks, you can add to that or take away whatever your goals may be. So back to the initial program, squat every day. When you're squatting every day, there's many different ways to implement it. You could do the Bulgarian method, which I don't recommend to anybody, and I don't really recommend I don't recommend squatting every day for anybody anyway. But one thing you definitely don't want to do, in my opinion, is the Bulgarian method. That's working up to a 1 rep max almost every single training day for that day, and you can just by me telling you that's common sense. Your recovery time's not going to be there. You're not going to get enough volume for hypertrophy gains. There's just so much downsides to it. Yes, you might get stronger off of it, but it's definitely not going to benefit you in any of your other lifts. You got to remember too, powerlifting is three main lifts. You have the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. Now, yes, some people may need more work on one or the other, but you need to have a balanced program. For me right now, with my injury, and also just because I'm going back, I'm dropping one of my squat days. I was doing squats. I was squatting 3 times a week. I was benching 3 times a week, and I was deadlifting 2 times a week. Right now, I am squatting 2 times a week, benching 3 times a week, and deadlifting 2 times a week. So you have to find the right programming to your goals. I bench 3 days a week because bench is my weakest lift. I need a lot of work on it. If squats were my weakest lift, I would probably squat 3 days a week again, or squat, more often. Or maybe rotate in, 2 on, 3 off, whatever. But that's not the case for me. And right now, especially with my injury, I have to compensate for that. So, will I go back to squatting 3 days a week? Maybe in the future, but for right now, I'm going to kick it with 2. And just progress on there, especially since the injury. So the squat everyday method, you can implement other safer ways to do it. You can do variation styles of it. You can do like front squats one day, back squats another day, pin squats, safety bar squats. There's so many different variations. You could do it like that. You could do it where you vary the rep schemes throughout the week. But again, it all comes down to what you enjoy doing too. You might love squats, but guess what? If you're going to do squats that often, I bet over time you're going to get bored with them. Maybe not. Maybe you're a freak and you just won't get bored with squats. But I was noticing by the end of my last round of PH3, I was kind of dreading squatting 3 days a week. Even though I really liked it, maybe it was just because of an injury too. I don't know. It could have been just because of that. But I was just kind of getting tired of squatting so often. Um, it's very mentally draining, and for a person that works a 9 to 5 too, it. I'm not a big fan of creating added stresses in life. So dropping my squats down to 2 days a week again, I feel is really beneficial. Um, I think it's just a nice reset. So you have to find what works for you, but you have to also know, the best programming too for balance. You have to create a balanced program. You have to create, a way to progress volume over time, whatever that may be. Maybe you don't like doing daily undulating periodization. That's fine. Integrate a style of linear. Progress weights and reps each week instead of through the week. I mean each throughout the month, not throughout the week. That's what I meant to say. So my review on the Squat Every Day program is simple. Don't do it. There's much better programs out there, much better balanced programs. Even if your squat sucks, keep doing what you're doing. And if you need more, if your squat just got stuck and you can't get stronger, use the tips I talked about. Add a speed day. Turn that speed day then into a hypertrophy day once you're accustomed to it. Then once you've plateaued on 2 days like that, then add a new speed day. So you have the strength, hypertrophy, and then speed. And then later on, once you are used to squatting a third day, turn that speed day into a hypertrophy day and switch your training into daily undulating periodization, into some type of rep scheme of starting through the week of a lighter weight, progress to a heavier, and then the heaviest by the end of the week, by the weekend, or reverse. You can do your strength work first at the beginning of the week and then reverse down. Either way works. But that is really what I recommend for plateaus, going past a plateau in any type of lift. And this goes for any lift, guys. If you're stuck at bicep curls, throw more bicep curls in a daily undulating periodization type of style. I've grown my arms a lot through doing that. So that's it, guys. That's the review for Squat Every Day. And we'll continue to review different programs out there, and I'll continue to give my opinion. Give this video a like, share it with somebody that might be thinking about squatting every day, because I also, injury is a high factor of that. Your chance of getting injured are a lot more higher too when you're pushing your limits like that every day. So I'm done, guys. Enjoy this podcast, and we'll talk to you next time.